Did he do that on purpose?
2,
That's
1.
good.
We are live. Oh, she's gone. She's hiding because 66 days. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Those are quite something.
Big reveal. Oh,
I
also,
like them.
what's this around my neck? Oh, another medal for my collection. Yeah. She's got the glasses. She's got the medal.
What's your medal for?
It's for, oh, well, I can't see in these glasses. Memorial Fun Try, 28th of June, 2025.
Your first ever triathlon.
Yeah. Completed
Well
it,
done.
mate. Done it.
What
You
did
didn't have those
do?
glasses
How
on for
did
the
you get it?
triathlon, though.
Yeah,
No, yeah, that's my next one.
that would have saved you 10 minutes.
Probably
At
would
least.
yeah. Did you just say 66 days?
I did.
Okay.
That can't be right.
Why?
Well, yeah, 2 months, isn't it? Pretty much.
Oh, gosh.
On a bit.
That's not enough
2
time
months
to
and-
train.
2 months and a
9
week.
weeks, 3 days.
Oh, that's better. I like 9 weeks. It's better than 66 days.
9
Sounds
weeks.
Sounds longer.
9. Oh yeah. Today I printed off. Oh, how can I? My new plan.
Blank.
Yeah, I like to write it in with pen because
Yeah.
I have a bit of OCD, and if I put my run on a day and then I have to cross it out and move it, I don't like that. So each week I'll write down what I'm doing on the week. But I purposely did.
That's not a plan.
Huh?
That's not a plan.
You've printed
Yeah,
you've
It's
printed
a
a blank
diary.
piece of paper.
I have my plan that I'm going to transfer to this every week, so I don't have to cross things out. And I purposely did it all the way to the end, so I can see like how many swims, just how many things I have to do. And it's 9 weeks.
It is
How many-
9 weeks.
Oh, how many swims is that?
Well,
18.
how many it should be. And how many it is a different question. What's your plan, Ben?
Just roll with it.
Roll with it. Just do it.
Yeah, pretty much. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I'll have a couple of probably this week to recover from that marathon drive back from holiday. And then I'll try and do a couple of bits each week, but not much.
What's
Not
her
sure.
plan?
Yeah, she's
Her
not
plan is
sure about
probably
your
to
plan.
to stop me training.
Yeah,
That's funny, yeah. That's funny.
sounds like she agrees.
Along with the efforts of the other 3, sleeping at too late in the night to train in the evening, and then they don't get up too early actually, but
Neither do you.
that's still no, because they go to bed late as well. So
Yeah.
no, yeah, it's not many early risers yet. But we'll see.
Well, it's also too warm to.
Only
you know,
yesterday and today. Apart from that, it's been fine. The temperatures here, and it's going back down now to mid-20s. So I can't use that as an excuse. Although I did notice like there's a few days of rain coming soon. But no, I should start.
Oh, bless you.
Don't
No,
eat
I
that.
should. Unless you got a snot, I can't even see that. You can probably see it better than me.
Right.
No, Just joking.
So yeah, 66 days.
But you've done your first try. What were the distances?
I did 1,500 meters swimming and made sure I did 1,500 because we thought we did, and then we we turned around and got to the end, and it was like 1,400 and what was it, like 80 or something. So then had to keep going. And then even then, when I got out and put it on my Strava, it still didn't say 1,500, but it definitely was.
It did say it on mine, but when we switched
Yeah.
it to yours, it doesn't say it. Like it changed the distance.
Yeah,
What? It changed.
very strange, but it definitely was. So did 1,500 meters swim, 20-kilometer bike, 5-kilometer run.
In
Did
how
you
long?
not start your watch until you got to the other side of the river?
No, I think I started it straight away
No, because on your map, it's just got an out and back on the other side of the river.
because I hide my start and end location.
Ah, okay. So that normally shows grey, but it only shows grey on you, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, I started it at the start. What did you ask, Alex?
How long did it take you?
Oh, I don't know to hand.
28 years.
To do a triathlon.
No,
My
yeah.
first one.
How long? How many
45
hours?
see.
minutes for the swim, 10 minutes for T1. The bike was 33 minutes. T2 was 4 minutes and 27 seconds. And then the run was 35 minutes.
That's quite a long T2 for somebody who doesn't have to change their shoes.
Well, I did have to change because I was wearing cycling shorts. So I had to change into my running stuff.
Wasn't a tri-suit.
And I was faster than Alex expected, so the car was locked when I first got there and he had to run to come and unlock it. But yeah,
I don't think that cost you any time.
It cost me like 3 seconds, I think.
3 seconds. Anyway, so how comes no tri-suit? Because you don't have one yet still.
I have one here. Alex, I have one here.
So where's that other one gone?
But the one that I have, because you were saying there's an Orca one, no? Or did I make that up? The Orca one is the Alex one.
Yeah, then there's another one.
Oh, that's the only one I've got. So yes, Ben, I do have a tri-suit, but it's here.
Have you done anything in it yet?
No.
Tried it on.
Are you
Had a
saving
little
it for race
dance,
day?
I've seen.
No, I will start to train in it. Yep.
2 hours, 7 minutes.
2 hours, 7 minutes. And what did Ben say after I did that? He was like, oh.
I'm going to smash you easily.
That is 100% not what you said. I can find it. Or was it said out loud or was it said in a group somewhere? It was along the lines of, oh, here's a cheeky monkey. It was along the lines of like, oh, might need to train with those times.
Some of them were scaring him, weren't they?
Some of them were scaring him. Yeah. And T1 was very long because, well, we were a long way away from the car. And I also was not wearing a tri-suit, so I had to take the wetsuit off, take my swimsuit off, put the bike stuff on.
It wasn't normal transitions, was it, as well? You didn't have your stuff laid out, ready to go, or anything like that? So.
Kind of, but not like I had it on the back seat.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was good.
So easily under 2 hours with a tri-suit and proper transition. That's what we're saying.
What was that I did it in? 2 hour 10?
7.
2 hours 8.
Yeah, but the run was half distance, and so was the cycle.
Yeah, no, he means 2 hours for that same distance.
Oh, that one. Oh, I was gonna say, 2 hour Olympic. Is that okay? Yeah.
No. Yeah, yeah. I think 2 hours for the same. But Alex, you also did some interesting calculations in the car on the way home, didn't you?
Oh,
well,
did we get some? I'm not sure you should let Alex do your maths. That's probably how long. Is that how long he's planning for you to finish the Olympic distance in now? Probably, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
It was very scientifically calculated, not just hey. Take
All
some
of
time
my
off of that.
calculations are scientifically calculated. There's no just way put some numbers down and hope for the best. Yeah, let's look at that, because in a previous episode we predicted your times, right? Based on, so you've been constantly having like this report card
Oh
on how
yeah.
well we think you've been doing.
Well, Ben
But
wasn't
we
there for
also
that
predicted
episode.
your well, Ben, we sent him it after, but we can start by having a look at that, because yeah, it's also interesting, the calculations that we did, or that I did, the very scientific calculations that I did, also put into context, like, yeah, what you might be able to achieve on the day as well. So we had, you can see both the cutoff time and like the predicted time for each stage. So the swim cutoff is 1 hour. That means 4 minutes per 100 meters. So we predicted you, based on the last swims that you'd been doing, you thought it was around 3 minutes per 100 meters, which would be 45 minutes. And what was your swim time for the
45
1500?
minutes.
Bang on, wasn't it?
I think
Yep.
so.
Yep.
So 3 minutes per 100 meters. We'll keep that the same. We put
Good
7
maths.
minutes for the first. Yeah, we'll put 7 minutes for the first transition, because it will be a bit quicker, but you still have the wetsuit and stuff. So now you're at 52. Then onto the bike. If you add the cutoff time, which is 2 hours 10, that takes you to 3 hours 15. If you took the whole time to do the swim, that means that you could average 17.8 kilometers an hour to still like make it. But we predicted you at 20 kilometers an hour, so 2 hours. And this is where it gets interesting, but we'll come back to it before, like, let's do the run first. And then you would have 1 hour 10 to complete the run, which is 7:30. If you needed the full time,
Ben might
maybe
need
you
to
want to
mute.
mute. Yeah, if you needed the full time for the swim and the bike, then you would only have 1 hour 10 to do it, but that's still 7:30. But we predicted you anyway. You'd do it in 1 hour 15 with the 7:30, and you'd be fine because you've made up the time from before. That puts you at 4:10 for the total. You're like one of the that's maybe the primary goal. The secondary goal was like just to finish, but maybe the new target, based on a 22-kilometer-hour bike, would save you the 10 minutes here. So you'd finish in 1 hour 50, which would put you 3:59.59.
Well,
And
that was
what was your
because-
average speed on the bike?
Well, wait, that 3:59.59 was because Dad was like, you have to have sub 4. And that was, he wanted me to go to like 3:50 or something. And that was my negotiation. That is sub 4, 3:59.59.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
3:59.59 to get that with those like similar times, all you have to do,
Cool.
the only difference that we made was from 20 kilometers an hour on the bike to 22 kilometers an hour
22.
on the bike.
Yeah.
What did you average at the first try?
22.2.
It's science.
So then Ben, in the car on the way back, Dad was like, well, then we need to go even less. Like, we need a new time.
Well, we do, because your run was 7:04 and not 7:30.
Yeah, but that was also only 5 kilometers.
I was going to say, this is good maths and good science, but those distances were half distances, weren't they? So she has to maintain it for twice as long on the bike and twice as long on the run.
Yeah.
With 9
Which
weeks
probably-
extra training.
If she trains.
It will.
Ah,
Yeah. I think sub 4 hours is possible then, looking at that though.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see.
What
I guess.
were?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I guess the closer we get, the more we'll see. Does it work like that?
Well, what you said some very interesting things to me, but what were your what were your takeaways? What were your lessons learned? What are you going to apply into the next 9 weeks or 66 days?
I believe the first thing I said was, I need to train more.
Oh,
And Alex found that
I've
really funny.
not heard that before from anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, just because it was hot. It was a hot day. Maybe actually to even give Dad, do you want to give some context on what the day was? Because it wasn't like an official triathlon or anything. Don't know if anyone can tell by the medal that they saw. But what was the day about, Dad? Why did we do it?
It was a try day to remember my friend Luke, who we lost earlier this year. And I did my first half Ironman with Luke at that very location. I still can't remember. I know we worked it out whether it was 4 years ago or 5 years ago, but it was during COVID. And we were entered into 2 races. I think it might have been West Friesland and Maastricht or what have you. But they kept getting postponed and cancelled and pushed back, and we got fed up with it. So we organised our own one, which is where we go swimming in the River Maas in a place called Eisden near Maastricht. And you can park up just a short walk away from the river, wild swim in the river. Don't never swim on your own, go with friends. And where you park up, you use as the transition area. We went off and did the ride and come and did the run. So we did a half marathon from there with the half Ironman, with the same run route that you did 4 or 5 times, and a longer cycle ride. So the idea to commemorate the start, where I did the try with my friend Luke, was to do it with other people, but make it try and fun, so people could turn up and do whatever distances they want. The only rules being that you enjoy yourself and you have a go at all 3 if you can. So splash in the water if that's all you can do. Swim in the water if you can. You swam the longest, I think, Rebecca. There were some others that did it, 750 or what have you. Cycle around the loop. Most people did 20k on the bike, which was a push for some, easy for others. And then 4 or 5k running. I think in the heat of the day, it was quite midday. It was quite hot by then. But it was, and then some of us headed off for lunch afterwards, nearby down by the river in a beautiful little quaint little village. But the best bit was the camaraderie, the spirit, and 4 people did their first ever triathlon, including Rocket Rebecca.
And who was the oldest and who was the youngest?
The oldest, I believe, was Dervla, that did her first one, but I think you might have got her age wrong. I'm not sure. On your Strava post.
She's only 21, right?
Yeah. Some brownie points for Ben there. Oldest was Rebecca. Oldest was Dervla, followed by Ola, followed by Rebecca. And there was a young lad who joined us. His mother is a very proficient swimmer and a competent triathlete. And he'd always wanted to do his first triathlon. So he came along, 9-year-old lad, did his first triathlon. And loved it. So he's asked us to do it next year again.
Yeah, bless him. That was the first thing he said. Can we do it again next year?
Yeah,
that could have been those age differences could have been more extreme if I'd managed to get there as well, couldn't they? Because I could have brought maybe 1 or 2 of my girls too. So it could have been even more extreme.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We set him a condition. We'll do it again next year, but only if he brings some of his mates from school.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was anyway, like good excuse to practice, right? And there were a few nerves from some people before, but it was like, just have fun, as you said. Like, it's just to try it. There's no pressure, there's no time, there's no anything. And people really achieved what they wanted to, right? Like, Ola got into the water, like into a flowing river, someone who's scared of the water and hasn't been in a pool since I think like January. Dervla had been looking forward to it all week, and she completed what she wanted to and was super happy. So, and then
first time in the river as well for her.
Yeah. And then Dad asked, like, what was your favorite bit about it? And for me, it was when I was on the bike and I saw the little boy and his mum going off on their run, like in the middle of the field. And I was like, oh, that's just so good, like to see them going. And yeah, it was really nice.
Did you see the video of the high five at the end?
Yeah.
Cracking.
Yeah, it was really good. So that was the practice.
But it was although it wasn't strict and we were a bit relaxed and we had to work with the car, it still gave you a lot of people. It still gave you an idea of what a transition's like and what you want to hand and what you need and what you like and what you want at the end of it. You start to get, and I heard quite a few times, now I know what you mean. From everything positive, like how beautiful it is to swim in the river, despite how frightening it is for most people getting in, at least for their first time. But why you want this, why you wear a tri-suit. Somebody said, now I get why you wear a tri-suit. And you had all of that stuff as well. So there was a lot of all starting to that makes
come
sense
together.
Okay, I get it.
Well, that was like those lessons, the lessons I'm about to say I wouldn't have got without having done it, right? Because I don't know. So I had after that I need to train, because it was fine, but when I got to the run, immediately like my calves were tired and I was like, I don't know if I have this in my legs. Like, I know I can for 5, but originally I was like, maybe if I'm feeling good I'm gonna go for 2 laps, and as soon as I started I was like, no, like there's no way. But it was also very hot and so on, but I think that's just like maybe more brick sessions to practice just getting that feeling for my legs.
And when you've got a choice, it's easy to take the easy one. But if you were at Kanoka and you had 10, the thought doesn't even enter your mind.
Exactly.
And there's some techniques to help with that as well. I'm not that fast, so I don't think that's probably why it's never bothered me. But some people say change down a gear or 2 on the bike and spin faster at the end. It changes your blood flow. A lot of people, they run through transition, but if you walk as well, that helps you restabilize. So there's a whole bunch of different things you can do to help you. Some people see it as a good time to have something to eat and a drink and not go hell for leather, but there's different things you can do.
Well, that's what I was doing, and that's my next lesson, is that we had draggy bus, like the little draggy bus, and after the swim going into the bike I shoved a handful of them in my mouth, and then I did the same going from the bike to the run, and I just couldn't stomach it. Like for the bike it was fine, you're not moving so much like up and down, but as soon as I got them all in my mouth and started running I instantly regretted it, and I was like debating, like, am I gonna spit this out or am I just gonna like go with it? So that worked for me for T1 but not T2. Need to find something else.
But there's ironically, would you believe it, it was my coach that at the time that set up that triathlon, and they were commenting how little food I'd taken in and how little drink. They gave me more supplies of fresh drinks halfway through the ride and hadn't finished the first lot, but they were concerned that I wasn't eating or consuming. And you can actually see how loop after loop I got slower. So they gave me a banana to eat. And down the avenue, where we go from the cars, the tree line, the coolest part of it. And I was halfway down there and I probably spat it out. It's like, no, I can't do that. It's like, that isn't working. But that's when you switch to the liquids, and that's why I like the energy drinks as well. But exactly the same place, exactly the same problem. If you're eating when you transition, is possibly too late. And again, as well as spinning your legs, the last bit of the bike, what you're eating on the bike isn't for the bike, is for the run.
Well, I did that. I had the like a little jelly sweet thing in my sports bra, and I was eating that on the bike because I was thinking about it. I was very thirsty, so I finished a bottle on the bike, which had some like powder in, but I also had this bar, and I was like, I don't think I need it. I've just had a sip, and I was like, no, it's not for now. It's for the run. And so I was conscious to eat that during the bike.
But the other thing you've got at Kanoka is you don't have to carry everything or bring everything, because they have aid stations, and that's why we read the instructions and you work out what distance they are and and they'll tell you what's going to be there and what you can have, and you can try it all before if you want. But if the worst, you take your own powder and drink it with water, or you get water or gels or other stuff, and you plan to stop there as well. And the worst thing you do is if you plan your nutrition like that and you think, I'm flying, I'm on for a record time, I'm going to skip that stop, you'll pay for that later. You'll pay for that later. And the same on the running, check where the aid stations are, and it's like water in your mouth, water on your head, ISO, water on your head, and then off you go. And you do that the problem again, the first aid stop people are going through. I'm fine, don't need this. I can remember I watched two guys do an Ironman once, and on the first lap round, they said, oh, "This is easy."
But even that, I think I need to practice, because whilst I was like changing, Alex made me a little bottle up, another bottle to take with me for the run, and I think I carried it all the way around until Alex came along, like towards the end, and he was like, "Do you want me to take that?" I was like, "Yeah, I can't run and sip like a sip." I had a tiny sip, but I can't have it jiggling in my stomach.
No.
Gels. They're disgusting taste, but they're gels for a reason, right? They're the most easy thing to deal with.
God,
And the best thing to do is you take the gel and then you drink a little bit of water afterwards, and then it's fine, like a mouthful of water.
So would you do that at like an aid station then?
How far we're doing? We're doing 10K.
Yeah.
We shouldn't need many then, should we? One at the
Or
beginning,
like
one in the middle.
transition.
It's normally one gel an hour, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, it depends on a few things, like how many carbs are in the gel, but how used you are to doing that anyway.
We were using double ones. On the Ironman, we planned for 1 an hour, didn't we?
Yeah, because it was double.
Yeah.
But then that's also like a different pace, right? Like if you're looking at a 10K maybe in an hour, like Rebecca is a bit over an hour. So yeah, you're more looking at like 2 gels, or one towards the end of your bike, and then one like at the beginning, first.
I think I would do
4 kilometers or something.
A transition one before the run, and then one halfway through, probably.
Yeah, but if you already do it, like that's what I was going to say before, like if it's going to take 20 minutes to get into your system, right, and do something. So if you're taking one in transition, like you already depleted into the run. Like what you want to be doing is taking that first one.
I'll take
half
bike
an hour
too. So
for the run as well.
I'll take 1 an hour basically. So I should be going approximately 4 hours as well. So I'll take one after the swim, then 1 or 2 on the bike, 1 or 2 on the run. So I'll have 5 gels with me for double carb ones though, but 5 gels for 4 hours.
Yeah, the last one probably does nothing. You'd be better doing it sooner before, but yeah.
And then ISO drinks as well, obviously. Like I'll fill up my 2 bottles with the same stuff. I don't even remember what drink I had on the Ironman, but I'll take that again. I'll probably be able to find it somewhere. And then on the run, I'll drink what they give me. I'm not running with a water bottle.
Yeah.
I think that's halfway through the run. Even water's enough probably at the end. I think that's the mistake I make, is too much gels and ISO, and sometimes just the water's good enough. Because it's not just that's your carbs and that's your fuel. But you saw what the weather's like. It's also about hydration. So it's not just if you're only intaking the carbs, that doesn't help either. You need your water.
And do you take like the whole gel in one go?
Yeah, but that's why as well, if I was you, I would take like more on the bike and less on the run, because like you say, everything's easier to stomach on the bike than it is on the run. So that one that Alex was saying, like 20 minutes before you finish, you don't feel like you need it, but it's actually good to have it on the bike, because then by the time you start running, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's like it will give you the energy you need, but it won't be like there.
The more you can have on the bike, even if you don't think you need it, like the less that you're dependent on getting something in on the run to also help you on the run.
Yeah. So maybe I would try to do one in transition, then T1, and then one, like towards the end of the bike.
But there's other options. There's like the bars as well. I've got energy bars, and I used to make the mistake that I would stop and eat an energy bar, but now I actually find that in your back pocket, and you can be there, and you have a bite every 10 minutes or so. It's a lot easier to digest. And if you're doing that, early part of the ride or halfway through the ride, that's even slower release then as well. So it doesn't have to all be gels.
Yeah,
and that's what we talked about as well. Yeah, jelly. Well, I always like the idea how many laps you're doing, but you've got jelly babies because they're your little reward and counter at the same time as well. And that makes it. But that's what they said in the Ironman as well, having some real food, so you can have a fruit waffle or something. You know, it's not gel. You don't have to be all gel. So then you're not so dependent on them, and it's just 2 or 3. But you've got bars and jellies and other bananas or bar, homemade bars as well could be an option. You work out what's best for you.
Because that gel, I've only tried. Well, I didn't even try one. I just tried like a sip of one, and I was instantly like, disgusting. Put it in the bin.
What did you try? They're not that bad.
I don't know.
Was
It's
it one of
so
mine?
sickly sweet. No, it was one that Alex had bought from Triathlon that I had here. I can look. I have another one still. I can send you the brand. It's just so.
Cushing's Power Bar.
You should have taken some of mine. We should have thought of that. Mine are called Liquid Energy, and you don't even need water with them. They're water based, so they're even easier to consume.
Yeah, but even Alex, the ones we used were quite good as well, weren't they? They weren't bad at all.
Yeah,
The double carb ones. They're fine.
That's what I don't like about your ones. That is just you would take 3 of them to like one of ours for the same amount to get the same amount of carbs.
Yeah, but you spread them out over time, so they're less intensive.
Yeah.
The other thing I said, we were talking to Orla about it afterwards as well. You've got to find out what works for you. Not everybody.
Yeah.
Just because I say I like this, I always go back to the same energy drink, and sometimes energy drink. The coach used to tell me off. I used to dilute it a bit more, so it had a bit more water in it. But that combined with the bars was enough.
Yeah,
was enough for me.
That's what I need to.
If you look on most websites, you can order a taster selection box where they give you like a small one of each flavor as well, and you find out which one you like then.
Yeah, because that was also surprising. I said that to you, Dad. I hate pineapple and coconut, and the bars and the gels that you bought were pineapple and coconut, and I was like, there was one lemon one, and so I took a lemon and a pineapple. And on the bike, I was like, I really fancy that lemon little cakey thing. And I didn't have it. Instead, I had the pineapple jelly thing. And I was like, I immediately saw it and I was like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want that. And I was like, no, I should. And I actually really liked it. So that was also interesting.
A lot of it's not the flavors. I mean, the flavors of pineapple and coconut because they're stronger and they're masking, anything that doesn't taste good. It's about what you eat well, what you digest well.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I don't know if you had it on your bike, but I think all it did is to have a top bar bag.
Yeah.
That really helps. But also the other lesson we learned is to open the packets before you put them in a top bar bag. Bloody annoying if you get to the end of the race and there's 2 or 3 in there you haven't eaten and you've got to use them. But if they're in there, with the top snipped off, so you can and even in chunks or what have you, so much easier to eat and you do more then as well.
Yeah, because I was trying to open one of those things on the bike without losing the little plastic bit because I didn't want to litter. I was like, my speed probably dropped drastically.
What, the gels?
No, the jelly sweet.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So cut the top off of those before it's
and then at the end, as we found out, because I was storing it in my sports bra, well, when I kept trying to like eat it, it was just like melted into the packet, and I was like squeezing it up.
What we said, and I saw this a couple of times. I know that Benoit does it, and the guy Alex, when we cycled in Fuerteventura, some people are. Ben said every hour. Some people are by the watch. An hour, I think, is too long. So they would be every 15 minutes. Sip a drink every 15 minutes, sip a drink every 15 minutes. It's going to be, or it could be 10 I'm going to have a sip of drink, 10 I'm going to have a little, if you've broken your bars into chunks, you do that, and it's constant all of the time. So it's not so hard to digest then.
Well, I think I'm actually going to write on my plan somewhere like nutrition, because I need to start training with that.
You need to do all of the sessions.
Need to do what?
All of the sessions, you should be doing that. Like that makes such a difference. Like not just in terms of, you like don't think of it as I'm fueling this training session by doing like the correct fueling for the day. Like actually what you're doing is getting more exposure to trying that stuff but you're also training your stomach, because when you had that where you look at it and you're like, oh, I can't do it, like that's something you train and you just get over it. And it's not then about like those little jelly things, like I think they're between like 20 and 30 grams of carbs an hour. Like I think in general, like a beginner could easily get like 50 grams of carbs in per hour without having too many issues. So you shouldn't be looking at that kind of jelly thing and being oh, I'll break this up over an hour. That's not enough. Like you should be looking at one of those and be like, yeah, I'll have 2 every hour, which means you just get it down you. And that's what you need to train. So you're like, if you've got a 6K run on your plan, you'll be over fueling, but it's not about fueling that training session. It's about practicing your nutrition.
Well, maybe we can do that in the next episode, actually, because I have my new plan. But maybe against that, we can put in like what my nutrition, like what I should be taking. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant we could eat the jellies through the podcast.
We can do that as
Taste
well.
test.
Yeah.
That might be a good episode, actually, if we watch Rebecca eating the gels too. That'd be quite funny.
Oh no.
We shouldn't do that at night. Yeah.
No. Horrible.
We did talk about a morning podcast. We could do that like 6 a.m. and then watch her go and set like a world record at 7 a.m. full of carbs.
Yeah, or throwing up just around the corner, one of the two.
Yeah. And my last lesson that Alex, you'll probably want to speak about this, is that I said practice slowing down my heart rate in the water, because also an update for all of our avid listeners is that I did 2 proper open water swims with Papa Wu and with Alex in, what is that? Is that a river or a lake? A lake.
Willowbrook is a lake, yeah.
In a lake. And yeah, the way out is fine. No, the way out was not fine. The way out, I was breaststroking quite a lot, and the way what?
Ooh.
And the way back, I seemed to like get into it a bit, and Alex and Dad were asking me like why I do that, and I'm like, oh, I just feel like I can't settle my breathing, like my heart rate is really, really fast. Well, actually, turns out Alex looked at my Strava, and my heart rate isn't as high like as when it is when I'm running. So he's like, it's not your heart rate. So that's something that I need to mentally solve.
Is that just panicking then? Pretty much.
I think so. Yeah.
Which is understandable
also,
for your first time. And the wetsuit.
Yeah, and you're just starting the sport, aren't you, when you start your swim as well? So you're going to feel like your heart rate's like through the roof, even if it isn't, because you're going from stationary to swimming straight
in. Yeah, because not really warming up.
The swim is the warm up for the bike ride, and the run is the warm down. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, all about the bike ride. But yeah, it's quite interesting. But already, like, so did 2 swims and then the third one for the triathlon, and I'm already less breaststroking than I was the first day that I went with Dad. So I think it is just like familiarity and like trying to get rid of that panic a bit. And I said, like, I think it is mental, because for the triathlon, Alex was swimming alongside me, and that already felt so much better, even when we were in Willowbrook and like there's people swimming, right? It's not like you're on your own, but even still, I was like, ooh, I don't know, don't like it.
It's a bloody long way as well, isn't it? That 1 kilometer.
Yeah, it's far out. And maybe that was actually part of it. Like, I didn't know where we were stopping on the triathlon, so it's like I'm just going to keep going until Alex says, all right, let's go back. But yeah.
But I feel like that as well, that you're conserving energy. I think that's my whole mentality, which is why I'm not fast. And then that bit when you say, oh, we're turning around, okay, go for it.
Yeah.
Nothing, you don't need to hold back anymore. It's the same with the run, and even the same, when you're over halfway, it's right, okay, unleash the beast.
Because I do think I also have that with running. Like, I think it takes me about 3 kilometers to really get into it and get my head into it. Like the first 3 kilometers are horrible, and I think that's probably the same with swimming. Like the first 15 minutes, I'm like, oh, not nice. And then, yeah, as Dad said, as soon as you're like, oh, actually, I'm halfway. Okay, we're good.
I mean, and then you get to the end of, oh, have I got to stop now? I was just in the flow for that.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Got my rhythm. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
enjoying that.
But Alex gave me some tips. Whoa. Some tips for that.
That was my phone going off, but I was looking at which energy gels and things I would get again. I think I found the same ones again. Ethics.
Oh,
Yeah.
Double carb one. They've got
Restart.
caffeine shots as well.
Yeah.
What are caffeine shots? No? Dad said no straight away then.
No, they've
What's
got
the
them as
caffeine?
well.
Caffeine
some
energy
people-
shots.
There's a whole bunch of research on that as to whether it makes a difference. If you drink a lot of coffee anyway, it doesn't make a lot of difference. But if you don't, and you have a caffeine, that can give you a bit of a boost.
I know a couple of the gels I had on my Ironman run had caffeine in, and I was a bit like that R2D2 video, Alex. Like, and that's how I feel. Oh, wow!
I didn't. Yeah, I have had the caffeine ones. I didn't remember if I had them for the Ironman or not, but I had them like with my last order or the last 2 orders. I haven't really noticed a difference, and there's a lot of caffeine in them as well, especially if you
They
take
tasted
2.
disgusting, I think, when I was drinking them on the run as well. That was lemon flavor as well. Normally I like lemon flavored things, but I struggled with them. Like I had to drink water before taking it and then take it and then drink water afterwards. And I'm not sure if it was just the taste of them or the fact that I'd been, eating just gels for nearly 15 hours by that stage. But yeah, and it was quite grim.
But that's the other thing about grazing. Certainly for me, with my digestion, grazing works better for me. But remember when you were doing the Duke of Edinburgh and you wanted Mars bars, and that used to be Ben's fuel of choice, Mars bars and chocolate or what have you. But then and it's probably the same with caffeine, as you get the peak and then
the low.
Whereas if you're grazing throughout the ride and building up, then it's a constant level rather than.
But do you remember my problem with Duke of Edinburgh? It's that.
No, I've heard about Ben's a lot.
Yeah. Because I was only eating things like that for the energy and like Aquarius and energy drinks. I was always like throwing up, like my stomach cannot handle it. I remember one time I got home and Ben opened the door and he was like, how is your DV? And I pushed past him, ran to the toilet, was sick in the toilet, and then I was like, I'm fine now. It was good, thanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I really need to train my stomach.
Or find what suits your stomach better.
Yeah.
Could be more natural products as well. People make their own energy bars as well, which you can do with nuts and dates, and it just depends what works for you.
Yeah.
I have gummies on Ethics as well.
I've ordered some of those.
I looked at them last time as well. They're like jelly babies, but like high carb ones.
Yeah, I didn't get those. They have the jelly bars as well. I ordered those this time.
I like them.
What was quite nice about the Haribo, although chucking a whole handful in your mouth probably doesn't work, and I prefer the bigger ones, is you chew on them for a while. And that's quite everything else.
I really enjoyed them. Yeah, I really enjoyed wine gums.
For a while, it's a bit. Yeah.
But on the bike, not on the run.
Yeah.
I took wine gums with me on the run and didn't eat them.
Yeah.
I take wine on the run. That works.
What's that? Caffeine Sport gummies.
I actually liked the fruit on the run of the Ironman. After
Oranges,
I think it was the third lap where I just couldn't face anything anymore. And then they had like a tray of watermelon and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, let's give it a go. Why not? Like nothing else was working. So it was just nice to get something different and real.
Because a lot of them have, and they do on the cycle rides as well, and it will tell you tray by tray what's going to be there, but salty snacks as well, and pretzels and crisps, and
That was funny in the relay swim I was doing, like where you had like 10 or 15 seconds at the end of the lap sometimes they would come over with a tray, so you could eat something in between. And I took like a handful of pretzels one time, and then as you start, it's like not enough time to finish eating
Yeah.
it. So I started swimming again, and I had still like leftovers in my mouth, and I was like
Oh.
not swallowing the water, but I let some in my mouth to try and like get rid of the rest of the pretzels.
You
Oh,
flushed
that's
them
just
out. You
fine.
gobbed them out, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Are there any lessons, Dad, Alex, from what you saw of my performance?
Training.
Oh, they have triathlon starter pack, €100.
That's not starter pack, Jesus.
Well, you get a
It's
whole
like for everybody at
barrel.
Ironman.
You get a barrel of drink. You get the
A
energy
barrel?
gels, 12 energy gels, and 12 energy bars.
Well, that's not really a starter pack, is it? It's not a tasting pack and find out if you like this. If you're getting 12 of everything.
But that's everything you'd need for the day, then, isn't it? It's €100, yeah, but that's more than enough bars and gels and drinks for your triathlon. Then.
Yeah, you like them, yeah. You're better off going
Or an
into a
Olympic,
store because
that's
they sell them
Olympic,
like it's a sweet shop, and you can buy one of each
Or,
Yeah.
and try them out. Or like I say, most of the starter packs are one brand with different flavors. What you actually want to try is different things.
I think I've just I've just remembered that for the last bike ride I did when I was in Spain, which was probably a month ago, I bought a bar to try and I only ate some of it, and I think it's still in my kitchen, half eaten.
At the runners lab, they had little cake bars, and they're like little cakes with lemon icing on the top and stuff like that, and they're real. That would be good. Again, on the bike, bit by bit, it feels it's more not as flaky and soft, spongy consistency, but again, it's packed with dates and nuts and other stuff like that. They're quite. I can't remember what they call those, but they're bloody good. I can go and have a look
Cliff
at
Bar,
them,
you can try. That's something similar.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll do some research for the next, and we can see when we're plotting my nutrition.
When I did the long ride with Dervla, I took Stroop waffles, learning from Alex, and again, it was a pleasure. I mean, we stopped a few times and a bit longer than I ordinarily would, but enough time to eat one, and it was quite nice to have something normal.
Yeah.
Alex, bring the Stroop waffles.
Yeah. Do you remember one of my when we were training for the Ironman? It was quite early in the year. Do you remember one of my trial foods?
Yes.
What was that?
You haven't stuck with it, have you? So it tells you how well it worked.
It sounds like such a good idea, and it would be such a good idea if the carrying of them was easier.
Pancakes.
So I bought, I had like I must have looked like a commando man because I had like side pockets like in my long trousers, like my long cycling trousers. So I came marching out like that, like all my pockets were loaded with like various pancakes. At the same time, I was like, oh yeah, but you don't always want something sweet. So I also had hummus wraps. And so I had like these like loaded like kind of like mini wraps already pre-made, and there was like 3 sweet ones in this pocket, 3 sweet ones in that pocket, and then 3 more in my back pockets. And by the end of it, it was just like at least the pancakes, the wraps stayed together, but the pancakes were just like one big mushy pancake with speculoos spread. I still ate it, but it wasn't something that you can just pick out and be like, oh, I'm going to chew on this for like the next 10 minutes. It was really like a mess. Yeah.
Gosh.
Well, the Americans always say that it's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's the one, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
I
sandwiches.
think again,
I quite like sandwiches as well, and they say white bread, not brown, because it's easier to digest and absorb. So, but that's that, Rebecca. That could be the kind of thing you go for on a bike. Is a sandwich. It's it depends.
And that's where you need the top tube bag, because you can't be putting that in your pocket or something like that. But it will stay together in a top tube bag, and you can just take a bite from it.
Yeah, little jam sandwich.
You're also swimming before, so that doesn't do good for your sandwiches. You can't put
Yeah,
them in
but
the
even if
pocket.
you put it in the
Yeah.
pocket in transition, it's better just to have that kind of thing in the bag.
The top, well, you
Mhm.
see, without a top bag, a lot of people tape stuff to their bars as well. But I've seen those all fall off. But yeah, the top bag's quite a good one.
Mhm.
Watching you, I said I watched you swim at Willowbrook and I watched you swim there. You're beautiful and elegant. I sent a picture to my coach as well. And she said, I can't remember what she said. I'll have a look. But basically, with more practice, you can see how you get better. If you stuck to your front crawl and didn't pause, your pausing was frustrating because watching you swim is beautiful. And then you stop and you go, well why? Every time you did that, it's like, well, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? You didn't need to do that. And you say, yeah, I did. But it's like, no, oh, my goggles are misty. Oh, the sun blinded. No, just fecking swim. And the more you swim, the more you'll do that. And I think you'll get quite a good pace on without the stopping. Because considering the pace that you've got for the distance you did, the amount of time you stopped is quite good. So you need to, need to train, and the more practice you do, the better. It's a shame you can't practice with your wetsuit. I got mine quite cheap. I don't know if I told you that. But I could go back and get yours, but you're still not here. Transitions you'll know and you'll learn about. It's quite good that you're on the bike. You did really well on the bike. You were flying on the bike. That's the bike you're going to use, so that's quite good as well. So we'll lighten that off, take the rubbish off of there, put a top tube bag on there as well. I don't think there's much to sort out on the bike. Tri-suit again would help on the running. You look pretty fit and comfortable as well. So I think it's for you. It's about keep at it with this. Well, 9 weeks of training on all of them will help on all of them. Brick sessions will help with your legs, working out your nutrition, tri-suit to help with the transition. All of that will help.
Yeah.
So we didn't actually update your chart, but they're probably all gone right now, and no doubt you'll complete and should be under 4 hours, I would expect. So the big one, I can't remember how long you spent in the water before, and I've started to look at the Luxembourg joining one. If you can get in the water before the start, that really helps. That really helps. Well, you saw what I did at Open Lakes. You were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though we wasn't allowed, I got in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Have you seen what it is for Luxembourg?
It's a self-seeded start, isn't it? But I hadn't read it yet.
There's so that's a river swim, so it will be different, I guess, in Kanaka. But the location where it is, they have, I don't know if it's a natural pool or a kind of swimming pool, but it's called the warm-up pool.
Oh,
So
where you
you're
can
allowed,
go in before?
yeah. So, but
Yeah.
not in the river. So you
Yeah.
can get in water. I don't know how comparable it will be to the river, or if it's like a kiddie's splash pool. I don't know. But there is like this warm-up pool as part of the where they're hosting the event, like where they have the transition and the
Well,
finish.
there's no current in the river.
No, there is not very
No, I
strong,
was
but
reading
there
that
is.
today. Well, they said there's practically no current. It's currentless. It's yeah.
Yeah, but
So
you
it
also
must
said
be.
that about the mass.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't say that. Well, I said we had to be careful of it, but yeah. But
That's a
that is
point.
a flowing river. But I think you know what rivers are like when they go wide. The current drops to next to nothing. So, but yeah, I was trying to print out. I didn't want to print out the whole guide. The guide is, I think, 61 pages or something like that. And I worked out that if I only printed the pages that had something useful to me, which was ignoring adverts and referees' instructions, it was only 21 pages. So I wanted to print, but I was having a quick flip through it as I went through, and it said about the water being currentless. But yeah, if you can get in the water before, because I think that's, that's the place where, and our friends have done it as well. That's a friend, and it must be so annoying that you wait and wait, you build up, you've got everything in transition. When we were at Friesland, everyone's trying to be in the shade and zip up your wetsuit at the last minute, because otherwise you're roasting, and then you jump in the freezing cold water and off you've got to go. And it's like, hang on, it's bloody 7 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since 4. I'm loaded with gels, couldn't queue for a poop, and then you go from feeling like you're 30 degrees down to 13 or something. But
Ben, did you see the video of my entrance? Not for the triathlon, but when me and Alex went swimming.
No, I don't think I did. I think I lost that one.
Oh,
I think
'cause
I
this is
tried
what
to download it and then it like stopped halfway through and then I couldn't watch it anymore.
this is fully what I expect, because Alex was, well, when we went the first week, we had ladders to go in, and Dad told me on the way there, he was like, you have to jump in, and I was like, I can't. And he was like, well, there are steps down, but he was like, I've never seen anyone take the steps down. And so we got there, and Dad dived in, and I was like, I don't know how to dive, like I can't do it. He was like, well, you don't have to. And I stepped a little bit down the ladder and then went in from there. But the second time, the next week when we went, they had an out lane and an in lane, and the ladders had been removed from the in lane because they'd had a triathlon there, so we thought it was part of that. And I was like, oh my gosh, now you do have to jump in. And Alex was like, go on, you jump in first. And I was like, oh, I don't want to. So I looked round, he held his hand out, and we ran and jumped in holding hands. And that's what I want to do for my triathlon entrance.
That's what you want to do. So I have to
Yeah.
hold your hand when you jump
Yeah.
in.
And the other person who's next to us, I'm going to make them do it too.
Oh, Jesus.
That would be
Having
funny.
said that, I'd rather jump in than do what they're doing behind you, Rebecca. That looks like blooming
Running.
hard work. Running,
Yeah,
but
that's
you know
true.
what it's like running into the sea, especially if it's shallow. That's bloody hard work.
Yeah.
It's
And I
so
feel like you
awkward
probably,
too. You
Yeah,
never know when to start swimming or when to stop
Yeah.
running. Like sometimes I did it, didn't I, on one of mine, and like I was swimming and people were running past me,
yeah.
yeah.
I saw
and
a video of something like that the other day.
and it's like,
Everyone was
yeah,
swimming and there was one person still just
Yeah.
going.
at one point
But
it
I
gets
think-
too hard to run, but it's also like not really deep enough to swim.
To
It's like,
swim.
yeah, no.
And I think the adrenaline would be more like, because there you're not leisurely, like you're running, racing in, aren't you? Whereas at least if you jump in, it's kind of done, it's over.
Yeah. I tend to, in that scenario, just run whenever I've gone into the sea, and then you fall over and make it look like you meant it.
Yeah, and then
Start
start swimming,
swimming.
yeah.
Have
Yeah.
a
Even
dive,
if you're only
jump
Yeah.
again.
and if you're
yeah.
if you're knee deep water, it doesn't matter. You still. I've seen
Yeah.
one triathlon where they did that quite a lot though. Like they ran, dived, got up again, ran, dived. I can't remember where that was, but it was like really shallow water.
I saw one the other day where they were almost running the whole thing.
I think that's one of them I saw, maybe. They were really
what?
far out.
There were like
That's- I
some people
think that's
running
the
and some
video.
people swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there was one. I think I might have seen the same one as Dad though, where they literally like swim like a couple of lengths and then get up and like dive forwards and swim a couple of lengths again.
Yeah.
It was really
Crazy,
weird.
yeah. I think
That's a
they
bit like
had
the
odd
nightmare
tidal
I had,
patterns or
wasn't it?
something. Yeah.
The nightmare
Yeah,
I had
enough
before the
water.
Ironman, where the lake dried up and you had to
Oh,
run in
yeah.
instead.
Alex,
Yeah.
what would you say other than train more?
Yeah, I think similar. The swim, you're in your head, I think a bit, but it's the beginning. That's fine. Like you'll get over that. We also talked about how you can like simulate that in the pool, so it doesn't
Mhm.
always have to be like in the sea or open water. But yeah, just really focus on that, practice that, because yeah, you've got the distance well within the time that you need. So now it's not even like you don't even have to consider that something that needs to be done for this upcoming race. Like
Mhm.
that's just for the future, just to have that under control is good. I think now that, because the swim was the big worry,
Mhm.
like now that it's not the big worry, you can have a different big worry, and I would consider that nutrition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because yeah,
Okay.
you're fine on the bike. Like the run with a few more sessions over the next 66 days, like will hurt less. Like you'll get it done anyway, but it will hurt less, or you'll feel better and move faster. But nutrition is going to set you up to do that the best way.
Mhm. Because yeah,
I would even think about swimming further. I wouldn't only swim 1,500 meters every time.
well, I have it on my plan actually. That sometimes it is further.
Because it's the same with everything, apart from those that damage your muscles, like running. Actually going further than the distance, it helps you cope with the distance, the actual distance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess.
The
Well,
other thing, it's a more of a do as I say, not as I do thing, because I'm probably not the best example of that. But your heart rate on the run was ridiculous.
oh yeah, that was funny. Ben, Dad, I don't think we told you about that. At the end, you do the loop, and then there was like a little avenue to go up to get, because we finished at, what was it, 4.8
4.1 or 4.2 or something. Yeah.
So you have to run a little bit. At least it was in the shade, a little bit up, and I was like sighing, and like Alex was about to run off, and I was like, and he turned around and really started laughing. I was like, I'm so done. And he was like, what's your heart rate? And I was like, 180. And he was like, whoa, like, I think we need to... He's like, I think we should walk. Like, let's get to this car and let's walk. And I was like, no, I think at that point I was like, maybe, I don't know, so close to the end. I was like, I've not walked the whole time. Like, I'm going to keep on going. And he was like, that's really concerning.
Do we know how good Rebecca's watch it was, or was that on your watch?
It was using my one, yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, because Rebecca's watch has given
was
us
it her
some
heart
strange
rate or
numbers.
yours then?
It was
Both
mine
of them.
when I saw what hers was. I think it had
Yeah.
already called 3 doctors on my behalf.
But
isn't your max heart rate 220 minus your age?
That's like one way to look at it. Yeah.
Oh.
So
You
the
shouldn't
actual
reach
number
that
is
on a
not.
5K run, though. That should be like a
It
100-meter
depends.
sprint.
Like it was hot, like, and yeah, you could have built up to it, and it might not have been 180 the whole way. Like, we can have a look at that. But where I'm saying you need to look at that is like when you have a 40K cycle and a 10K run, that's where you need to manage. And that's why I say it's a do as I say, not as I do, because you need to
You
manage.
can't maintain 180
exactly.
for 4 hours.
Yeah.
well,
Like,
what
if
did
you're
you...
getting into that on the bike, like, you need to, whether or not, like, you're saying, oh, but at 22 kilometers an hour and will give me the 4 hours, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're trying to get 180 beats per minute and you're on like the first 5 kilometers of your bike, like, you're going in a bad place.
And what's just slow down then?
Like, that's where and I will really consider doing that for Luxembourg, is walking through the aid station.
But that's good anyway. If you're eating and drinking, that helps you with your eating and drinking as well.
Yeah, but it's also it's a mental thing. It's a like, give yourself a small chance to get, like, have a proper breath. Yeah, take some nutrition in, but you have a restart point as well. Like, that's why you'll finish, because you were like, no, I haven't walked at all. I can't walk. But if you build that into your race plan and it's part of your race plan, like, it's a sensible thing to do. And you're not saying like, oh, but I can be disappointed because I wasn't able to run the whole thing. Like, no, you've just managed the race in a smarter way.
So
and you could end up like especially over 10 kilometers, or for next year when you're doing your half distance and it's a half marathon at the end, like, that's where you want to keep saying something like, I need to manage this race, not try and go as fast as I can, because that drop off is going to make you much slower than if you take an extra 2 minutes per lap.
Alex, for context, on Rebecca's 6K run today, she spent 50% of the time in zone 2 and 44% of the time in zone 3, with a max heart rate of 177, average heart rate 155.
A max heart rate was 177.
Yeah, so that's quite high again.
Oh, but wait,
yeah, but maybe not.
Exactly.
Maybe
oh wait, no. From the triathlon, her average heart rate was 177.
Yeah, that's probably too high.
Also, the reason why half my run was in zone 2 today. The reason why my
heart rate 186, and it says that she was at 63.7 of the time in zone 4.
But
and
those
the other
zones...
36% in zone 3. There's nothing lower.
Yeah, but it never is with my runs. Never is.
But
and the only
it
reason
should be, shouldn't it? She should be doing zone 2 run.
Yes, the only reason it was zone 2 today was because I had to walk quite a bit of it because it was too hot.
Is this? Do we know? Like maybe females have higher heart rate than us. We don't know that, do we? We're basing this like on only us. Maybe
But
females
the
do have higher
220,
heart rate.
well, she's younger as well. Like the younger you are, the higher your max can be. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, hospital concerned. I was more like, let's manage
186.
that. Like you can't do, like you could do a 10K like that if it was just a 10K.
Yeah.
I'm
But-
looking at my last run, how my heart rate was. That was a hot one too. My
Well,
max
how
was
can I-
167. My average was 156 when I did my 5K in Croatia.
But I don't think that's fair to compare heart rate like from one person to another. You can only compare it against yourself. Because
So what-
everyone's
What's your
like, very
what's your
different.
resting heart rate,
Dunno.
Who are you asking?
Rebecca? Not you. Yours is probably about 20, isn't it?
So what?
I see
what
my
am I-
average heart rate in Almere as well was 137. So it was really like that is like zone 2, isn't it? Max 172 right at the beginning.
My current heart
right.
rate is 93.
Are you
You
stressed?
need to go see a doctor.
Well, you joke about that, but I had to. I went to a cardiologist before doing an Ironman. Not a bad idea. She's never done anything like it. Probably
Yeah.
should have done it before the 20K, not afterwards as well. But
Okay, I wasn't fast today. I was first time back after whatever I had last week. So it was a bit slower than normal. 7:18 pace, that was what you're targeting, right? My average heart rate was 121.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think you have the opposite problem though.
I need to kick my ass.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, no, but you have lower resting heart rate than Rebecca. Yours should be lower.
Yeah, you
Wait.
do have a
Mine's just
abnormally low
dropped.
heart rate. I think.
What's your heart rate, Dad, right now?
So I was just uploading this. Oh, it's high for me, 61.
Oh, I'm now at 64.
Oh, that's quite good then. That's quite a normal resting heart rate. Do you have a Garmin as well?
No, Polar.
Oh, does it have like what's the other thing they use, Alex, on Garmin? Is it VO2 Max?
Yeah.
Do they have that on Polar?
Oh,
You can normally see like what your VO2 Max is.
Oh, I was looking at my last cycle commute home. The heart rate max 136, average 104. But I took it really easy because it was 35 degrees. It was like,
Mine
I'm not
says-
pushing it too hard today.
My resting heart rate is 53 beats per minute. Normally. That's probably when I'm sleeping though. That's that VO2
Oh.
Max. I can't remember if you get VO2 Max or if you need something else for it or not.
What on Garmin?
Yeah.
Are you on the
Oh, I
app?
know, yeah. Yeah, my VO2 Max is listed as poor.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your number?
38. Is it out of
Wow.
100?
No, I don't think it's out of 100.
But I'm also in detraining. I have even though I did my little triathlon and some cycles, I think it's because I don't run with my watch at the moment. It says like it has no stats for me. And even my 5K prediction is like, what does it say? 31 minutes?
Yeah.
It says 6 hours 54 for a marathon prediction. As well. and I
6
could definitely do
hours?
it. 6 hours 54.
So almost, yeah, that's crazy.
Rebecca's saying, let me in.
Oh. She's back. Wait, you might need to do your sound again.
Yeah, see,
There's all
that's
sorts
killer.
of things there.
That was a quick trip to the heart doctor, was it?
Yeah. Said all's good. I didn't hear anything Gemma was saying. So
Good. We were talking
what-
about you.
what can I do?
Slow down.
Yeah, or take some drugs to lower your heart rate.
We don't
Okay.
endorse that kind of behavior.
Okay.
No,
Well, they
that's it.
say, you've heard us talk about this before. I was just looking at my cycle, was mostly zone 1 and zone 2, that your training should be in zone 2. You manage it by your heart rate, not your distance, not your time.
Well, funnily enough, I saw a video today of someone I follow on Instagram, and she was saying that she has a really high heart rate. And she was saying like her next block of training, because she doesn't have a big thing that she's working for, is solely going to be like training for her heart rate. But if I do that right now, like I'm not going to, like I don't think this is the right time to do it.
Yeah,
Generally,
I think
females tend to have higher heart rate during exercise compared to males for a similar workload because they have a smaller heart size than males and they pump the same amount of blood, so therefore it beats more fast. Hormonal differences such as estrogen can influence heart rate, and during certain phases of your menstrual cycle that can also influence it.
Interesting.
Traditional
Shark Week.
formulas for estimating maximal heart rate,
What
220
did
minus
you
8
say?
is Shark Week, has been found to be less accurate for women.
Oh.
So at younger ages, the traditional formula might overestimate a woman's peak heart rate. And also, while females have a higher heart rate during exercise, some studies indicate that males have a faster heart rate recovery after exercise.
The annoying thing about that, yeah. So Rebecca, like, how do you apply that, or what should you do? And also, the annoying part of that is it's just about on the day that you don't get too carried away like I do, and you go off too fast like I do, and then you blow up and you're disappointed like I did, like I was. It's like you just set yourself up. It's have a manageable race plan, which is built in a smart way, and then you judge yourself based on how well did I execute that race plan, not how fast did I go, what was my time, did I smash it. But you can do that as well, but really you should be doing the other way.
But maybe
like a
then
smart
what
plan.
we've learned is that Rebecca shouldn't use heart rate alerts on her watch. She should maybe use like pace alerts instead. Like she shouldn't go much quicker than 7 minutes per kilometer when she's running because she's never done that before.
Yeah.
And on the bike, she shouldn't go quicker than like maybe give her a little bit, but like she shouldn't go quicker than 25 kilometers an hour because otherwise she's never done that before either, and it's a bit extreme to do. We don't want her to get carried away on race day, so maybe that's the sort of alert you should set.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like that might be too simple because you don't know like what the conditions are like on the day.
Yeah, and when you go downhill, you're going to get like every time.
Yeah.
You're
And
traveling
if you're
too
going
fast.
uphill, then you can allow your heart rate to go higher than like the average that you want it to be. But it's just about knowing like what you're normally running in, and like being able to judge yourself, like, am I really overworking and it's too much, or am I overworking but I can hold on? Like, so for your last 3 kilometers, for example, in the 10K, like, yeah, it might be 180, and like you can say, okay, but it's really, I'm almost there, this is the last push, then it's done. The big caveat, and that's what they were saying when we did the mental talk, the annoying thing about heart rate is that it can be like
So many things.
It can be affected by so many different things, especially on a race day where there's a lot of adrenaline or a lot of nerves. And like we were laughing and joking about that last year at West Friesland, or the year before. No, last year. Dad and I were sat together before the race. My heart rate was already like 115, 120. And Dad was sitting there at like 70. He was like still a bit higher than his normal, like, oh, I'm just sitting down. But mine was like, that's my exercise. Like, I think my bike ride today my average was around like 120. So I was like stressing,
Yeah.
and we hadn't even done anything yet.
Interesting.
But yeah, so in your next like runs and rides, take a look at it when you can during the event, but especially after as well, and just start to know like, okay, I typically end up with an average heart rate of this on my runs and this on the rides, and
Yeah.
especially the different kind of trainings that you do, like a harder run equals like this many beats higher, or a harder cycle is this many beats higher, and then start to understand it yourself and be like on race day like, okay, this is manageable, because I remember that interval session my heart rate was like, I don't know, 15 beats higher than what I'm currently doing. Or
Okay. So next episode, my
Did we cover
plan.
everything on this one?
Well, we
You
didn't
didn't update
really.
your chart.
We can do the chart
Transitions.
with. We can do the chart with the next one.
Transition setup, gear checklist, tips for fast and
actually
efficient
the
transitions.
chart we should do now, because it's about, we've done it almost every month, and it's about that time.
But then I think the next one, if we're doing the plan and nutrition, we can put transitions into that, because actually by the next session I will be doing, oh my god, I have one brick session, so that kind of is in line with that. I like this bit.
Let me get a
Feeling
pen
good.
in there.
Especially now I've got my new glasses. Do you like them, Ben?
I do like them. Where did you get them from?
Can't say out loud.
You can't say out loud.
No.
Bank of Father Brian, then.
Huh? No.
Bank of Father Brian, no.
No, the other way.
Bank of Mother Debbie.
No.
What other way?
Not that end. We're the other end. We're on the 5150. We're on
Spectrum.
the 0 end of the spectrum.
You got them for free?
No, almost. Guess how much? Guess how much I
Shein.
paid?
You did Shein or something, didn't you? Nice.
I think they were like €2.80.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
They
we'll
look
see
good,
how
though,
they
don't
go.
they?
They look good. Dad's face.
You have to be
don't-
careful with them.
Yeah, don't crash.
Why? If I
Well,
crash.
because a lot of them, the big issue you have with the fake sunglasses is they don't give you the protection for your eyes that you think you have, and even worse, your eyes think they are protected.
I think this does. I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure it says it on it, bastards.
It still stops the flies, Rebecca, as well. Don't listen to them too with their expensive
Well,
sunglasses.
I didn't buy
Alex.
expensive ones. I gave you an alternative that was a good price, but still
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't go fast enough to worry about crashing. So
It's more the sun and the UV that I'd be worried about. They don't
Shouldn't
offer
be
you
a problem
the proper protection.
in Belgium in September, should it?
no,
Well,
but in Spain
what
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Let's do a little review here. So
Why
we
is there a-
started.
I was going to say, why is there a massive arrow? But that's when I wasn't
Yeah,
swimming.
this is part of my review. We started back in 25th of April. As you can see, the swim was quite a concern, hence the massive arrow, because we concluded that session by saying you really need to start focusing on the swim. Bike was all right. And I guess we were just off the back of the half marathon.
Yeah.
So we were all confident on your running abilities.
Yeah.
Then we skipped a month. No, not quite. Just didn't do one in May, but about 35 days later, 5th of June, we're a bit more impressed with the swim. Not as concerning. You'd started doing some stuff in the pool, and you told us you thought that you were doing like 3-minute pace and that you'd swum like over 1 kilometer, or you'd swum 1 kilometer. in a
Yeah.
I didn't
session.
know how
So we
bloody
were,
fast she'd swum, did she?
No.
yeah, but we were feeling a bit better about it. And then,
My watch says 100 meters in 3 hours, but yeah, actually, I'd swum 5,000 meters. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So, okay, what's going on?
bike didn't really change.
No.
I like how Rebecca's more confident on the swimming and the biking than you two were. Then
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
And then the run dropped a bit just from, you weren't on the plan so much. So
Well, fatigued still, I think, with running, but yeah.
yeah, dropped a bit. And that brings us to July.
Oh, we've got my picture on there now too.
Yeah. Who wants to start?
I need to see the top one. I'll do it relative to the top one. I think no, sorry, the one just above it, the 5th of June. So it's relative. I think the swim, I would put swim
has to be green now, doesn't it?
Well, up almost where Rebecca is on the bike, between where I am and Rebecca is on the bike. I think it's
Woohoo!
around there.
Ben, you're saying in the green?
Yeah, she did race distance, didn't she, the other day?
Yeah,
Yeah.
45 minutes.
Yeah, no, put me all the way.
Yeah, but you didn't see it. Let me send you the videos of her swimming and stopping for a little look around, see what the hell's going on. A little picnic on a. She's like one of those otters, you know, when they go like that and they've got all their food. That's what she's like, stopping. Oh, what's going on here?
Dad was like, when he said when I breathed, he was worried I was going to flip all the way over, and I was like, that's dramatic. And then I watched the video, and I really do like come all the way out.
and have a little kip while you're having a breath as well.
I'm going in between Dad and Ben, but a bit closer to Ben. Yeah.
No, a bit closer to me.
Nah.
I'll fill that gap.
What's really going to make the difference here is how much you swim open water in the next 65 days now.
But the chart is about ability to finish the distance within the cutoff time, right? So
not technique, not
it's not like
breathing.
Next year or after the race, when the training continues, then we can put a different measurement to it. But this green, like the end of that green zone, is finished within cutoff, able to proceed to the next part.
Yeah, well, my only worry would be the stress of the start and jumping in and you've seen what happens to other people. So otherwise, I'm sure you're going to do it in the time. I guess what I'm saying is, are you green? Oh, I think you could probably do better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Onto the bike, Ben, you go again.
Yeah, again, her bike time seemed pretty good. I think she'll quite happily finish. I'd go a bit more to the left. Yeah, that's good. But only because if she gets a puncture, I don't think she's going to have a clue what's going to go on then. So.
Yeah. That's true.
That's
Although
true.
you've changed one.
Yeah.
And it didn't take that long, but it's a different. I think is your bike quick release that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's not a race. It's not a race bike, so it might be easier than. But yeah, it's the stress of trying to. Everything you try and do, you drop everything as well.
You were here before.
Yeah, further up, either where Rebecca was on the bike or even further. I think the only if we're looking at these individually, probably even more. I think the bike was the one. You've done that distance as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any problem at all. Yeah. The only difference we're doing these individually, put them all together would be going to be that.
Maybe that's what we need to do next for the next one. I would go in between Dad and Ben happily. Yeah. I knew he would do that because I haven't been on the bike.
Well, you haven't.
You flew last Saturday. That was good. Actually, it was only a couple of days back. Yeah. But still.
So Ben, where we've been on your Strava, I've been resting. I did a triathlon on Saturday.
I'm staying there.
Okay. Still
I'm within the group. Like
and a
you're in the
drastic
green.
improvement from the 5th
Yeah.
of June. I'm taking that.
Yeah.
We don't want to peak too soon, do we?
No, but this
Well,
is
bear in
marathon
mind,
predictions, not on current performance.
yeah, and this is also just covering the distance. So let's not really talk about peak performance.
That will come in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
I want this one in line with you, Alex, on the one above, just because she doesn't sound. No, a bit further to the right. Yeah, there.
I thought you meant like
Because
here.
Oh no. Just because she doesn't sound that confident with her nutrition, which I think that's when it affects you most on the run. So I've started off very confident with the swim and gone gradually down, but only because if she doesn't get nutrition right, then she could be in trouble on her run.
Yeah, makes sense.
What was your nutrition plan on the half marathon? Because I'm
had all
I'm
those-
there or even further green. I think that you had what?
I had all those jelly sweets. I think I had like 2 or 3 of them. That was
Because
it.
again, that for me, running 10 is the same as cycling 40. That's you can, if you've done that half marathon, you've got endurance in you. I've overall no doubt that you'll do this under 4 hours. But it all depends. It all depends on your training.
Yeah.
Sticking to the training over the coming weeks. That's the problem I've got. The fears about Luxembourg. I missed last week, which would have been a big one.
You've got this week. You're on it.
Not really. Yeah.
I'm still gonna be. Do I feel less than last time? No, probably about the same. Just because I haven't hit 10k since. Actually, I just haven't been able to.
I think you moan about running in the heat and how slow you are. I think it will work to your advantage, a bit like the professionals that go off altitude training and stuff like that. That if you come here and it's 21, 22, and we go, oh my God, it's 26, we're sweating. And you say, oh, I think I need a jumper.
Yeah.
And that will help. I think that will be a big help.
Yeah. Oh, it's less than last time.
Yeah, not really. It's the same.
Okay. That's good. I remember
yeah.
at the beginning of this chart, you were like, we need to be in the greens.
That's true.
We're in the greens.
Yeah.
Now I need to stay in the greens.
A big turnaround on the swimming. That was the one we were all worried about, wasn't it? And it was getting out and tri-suiting and open
the
water.
power of that arrow.
It's the power
Alex,
of
can you
beautiful swimming.
Can you send me Rebecca's training plan after this for the next week?
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, but I can't see it.
Are you going to do it or are you going to...
No, maybe.
He's going to monitor your performance.
Yeah.
Shall we look at this week?
So what we're doing is
today?
Wednesday.
I tried to do
but I
that
ignored the
to
days.
run today.
The 8.
Yeah, but I did 6. And I don't do 2 bikes, 2 runs. I do 1 run, 1 bike, 2 swims.
So you're not doing this?
No. If I'm feeling good, yeah, but that's not happened in the past 8 weeks. So
How does
this been discussed with the coach?
Yeah, it is.
Why
It
does
has
this say
been.
training week? This is week 1.
Yeah, it's the start of a new plan.
Okay.
I've already
Can you
done
send me that
8
plan
weeks.
too?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, we'll look into that in more detail, and as you say, connect it to your, like, what you can try nutrition-wise.
Oh, you can't read that. It says ideal week is 2 swims, 2 bikes, 1 run.
That was the previous plan. You can't just carry over the notes and the additions from a previous plan into the next one.
Oh, what's the ideal week this time?
Well, it's probably the same, but you can't just be carrying that over.
Well, I never hit that last time, so
You're a triathlete now, Rebecca. Your expectations have changed.
yeah, I can do it, so I don't need to train.
Put up that training plan again. I hate those bike ride ones. No, the
Oh.
Alex one. The
The interval sessions.
Is
But we're
it an
gonna go-
interval session? How on earth do you do that?
That's indoor.
Oh,
You have to
yeah.
do that indoor.
Or down the canal.
Fast way,
But
fast way,
what? How
fast
do you
way.
even remember it all?
You put it. I can put it. I put it in on my Garmin, and it comes up for you.
Mm.
That's not that hard, is it? It's 3 different things, and the first and the last one are the same, and it's just
The first
one
one's
time.
like a warm up, isn't it? Pretty much. It's
Yeah.
8 minutes. 8 minutes warm up,
8
but then a
minutes
2 minute.
moderate.
Yeah,
That's
but
just get on your
yeah.
bike.
then 2 minutes of like recuperation before you go for the 8 minute intervals.
Yeah.
That's a big session. How many? You got 10 minutes and then 8 and 3 moderate. So it's 8 times 4 then.
Yeah.
24. Oh, yeah, it's not too bad. It's like a 45-minute session, isn't it? Not even that. Yeah.
So that's what I'd just go out 45 minutes and go out and smash it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
not the.
No, that was some of my hardest sessions actually were those interval ones when I was training for the Ironman as well. Because I was like properly going for it for a minute and then you switch off a little bit. But I liked them sessions as well. They felt like they made a big difference straight away, didn't they, Alex? You did them, didn't you?
Yeah. What I don't like about my current ones is all of those like intervals, especially at this stage, is saying like the interval is at race pace. But I'm like, no, that's
Well, so
too
that's
slow.
not hard enough for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like do 4 times like the one I had to do today, 4 times 12 minutes at race pace, and then you get a 3-minute break. And I'm looking down and I'm like, okay, my race pace, yes, I have a pace goal in mind, but I also know what the heart rate kind of should be. And I'm like, nah, come on, we can push this a bit.
Not on the plan.
It's not on the plan. It's bad choices.
Bad choices.
Arturo, who is the coach that helped us set up that first half Ironman with Luke, he used to get annoyed with me because when we had stuff like that, and he was coaching Benmore at the same time, we used to say, right, put it on Zwift. I either find a Zwift one that works, or you can custom build on Zwift as well. And he's, just do as it. No, put it on Zwift or fine. I don't want you to custom build one, but you can if you want. And he preferred to in the end. But just go and find me, whatever plan it is on Zwift, and I'll do that. And then you just get, you don't do all of this. Oh, it's 8 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 3 minutes, Garmin or what have you. You just bloody the thing in front of you is telling you, pedal hard, stop pedaling, pedal hard. You're not pedaling quick enough, and it just
you can easily get ChatGPT to do that these days.
Yeah, I can't. I don't use ChatGPT.
It's literally just if you told it, I have 2 minutes at this, and then like 3 times 8 minutes of this or something like that, it converts it into a file that you can just upload to your Garmin.
Yeah.
And then it will be done. And then you can, have your watch tell you now is like the next interval.
I remember Grandad saying he was never have a computer in his house and all of that kind of stuff. I'm trying to get through to the end of my career without touching or doing anything AI.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
I believe you will. Are you retiring next week then?
Yeah.
Probably when the bosses hear that, I'll probably get fired. Yeah.
So next week, nutrition alongside my training plan, and also transitions.
Next week or in 2?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Next
time.
session, because I would have done some bricks and so on. Oh, that's my birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It will be in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, no. Oh yeah, he will. Yeah. That's me and you, Rebecca. Then.
Yeah. Fun.
Or we do the week after.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about it.
Then it will be 6 weeks and 3 days.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to do the week after, because then there's like we're closer to another check-in, and I have to have ticked more things off. And
I will leave you with this quote.
Oh God.
Let me paint the picture. We're running alongside each other. She's got a smile, but she's also got a grimace on. She finishes the event. She sat on the boot of the car, and I say, "What do you think? How was it? What do you feel?" She can only manage the words, "I need to train more."
You painted that picture really well.
And it was the pain on your face of knowing that you really did have to, and that's the thing that's going to make the difference. That was a beautiful moment for me as your coach.
Thanks. Well, I'm trying, and maybe that's also a discussion for next week, because I tried to wake up early to go today, wasn't early enough. It was meant to be a run in the evening yesterday, and it got to the evening and I was like, no, I'm too tired. So there's also a bit of experimentation going on with like heat and time and so on, but I'm trying.
That's where we said as well, like if the heat is a factor, like your 6K today instead of the 8, that's like fine.
Yeah.
Just sensible,
I mean,
yeah.
it's different if you're doing like a 4K instead of an 8K, but 6 to 8, you're kind of getting you're working the same muscles, you're doing the same kind of thing. But
Where's
I
the
don't like
limit
the way
then?
you're agreeing with that.
Yeah.
No, I'm asking like where your limit is. You're like 4K is not okay. 6 is fine. If she does 5, is that still okay, or is that?
No, I would say
Two.
like a 5K is not the same intention as an 8K run.
Yeah.
And it's not all the time either. That's the other difference. The
Yeah.
odd one now and then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't I have?
see.
I think when I did the Ironman plan, it wasn't done on distance either. It was done on time.
Yeah.
Really?
Some of them are, yeah.
Yeah, I think all of mine were. It wasn't go
Interesting.
out and do an 80. Maybe there was a few distance related ones, but a lot of them were just go and do 2 hours. Or yeah. And the distance you do doesn't matter. It wouldn't be that long for you, would it? It'd be go and do an hour run or an hour and a half run. And if you don't reach race distance because it's too hot or because your heart rate's not too high or something, then that's okay. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Like any 10K run, because that's your distance that you have to do. You could just put that as your target time, which is like 1:15.
Yeah, just run for that time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you get 10K or not, but
Yeah.
then you can also do like your fake and aid station where you're gonna walk, but with a planned stop and a planned start, like restarting place.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right.
Well, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe okay.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
See you next time.
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.